Welcome back to the channel. This is the second video in our 10-minute Bible study series. Today, we're diving into a topic that's at the heart of many biblical prophecies and eschatological discussions: Israel at the center stage of both past, current, and prophetic events. For centuries, theologians and scholars have debated the significance of Israel in God's divine plan, particularly when it comes to the last days. But what does the Bible actually say about this? Is Israel truly the focal point of end times prophecy? What does the Bible say will happen to Israel in the future? We'll answer these questions and more, so let's dive right in. To understand Israel's role in the end times, we first need to understand and acknowledge its significance throughout the entire Bible. From the very beginning, God's covenant with Abraham set Israel apart as a nation chosen for a special purpose. Let's take a look at 6 verses which help us get a solid foundation from which we can grow our understanding. In Genesis 12, verses 1 through 3, God makes a profound promise to Abraham, saying, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." This foundational covenant sets the stage for Israel's ongoing importance in God's redemptive plan. Moving forward in the biblical narrative, we see that Israel is not just a physical nation, but also a spiritual entity that God intends to use to bring blessings to the entire world. The prophets consistently spoke of a future where Israel would play a central role in the culmination of history. Take Isaiah 2 verse 2 and 3, for example, where it says, "In the last days the mountain of the Lord's temple will be established as the highest of the mountains. It will be exalted above the hills, and all nations will stream to it." This vision places Jerusalem, the heart of Israel, at the center of end times events, where all nations will come to learn from God. But it's not just the Old Testament that emphasizes Israel's central role in the end times. In the New Testament, Jesus himself references Daniel's prophecy about the abomination of desolation, a pivotal event in eschatological discussions. In Matthew 24 verses 15 and 16, he says, "So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." Here we see a direct link between the prophetic visions of Daniel and the warnings Jesus gives about the end times, with Israel once again being the epicenter of these crucial events. Another key passage that points to Israel's role in the end times is found in Romans 11 verses 25 and 26. The Apostle Paul writes, "Israel has experienced a hardening in part until the full number of the Gentiles has come in, and in this way all Israel will be saved." This verse suggests that while Israel's spiritual journey has been complex, God's plan includes a future restoration and salvation for Israel, which is integral to the unfolding of end times events. And naturally, we can't discuss Israel and the end times without mentioning the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 7 verses 4 to 8, we read about the sealing of the 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. This symbolic number represents a group that is set apart during the end times, highlighting Israel's continued significance even in the final chapters of human history. Also, Revelation 12 gives us a vivid picture of Israel's role in the cosmic battle of the end times. It describes a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. This woman, often interpreted as representing Israel, is at the center of the narrative, highlighting Israel's pivotal role in the ultimate battle between good and evil. Here's what you need to know. God made a promise to Abraham in Genesis 12 verse 3. "I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse." This is a promise that never ended. It carries on directly into the end times. Zechariah chapter 12 verse 2 and 3, God says, "Behold, I am about to make Jerusalem a cup of staggering to all the surrounding peoples. The siege of Jerusalem will also be against Judah. On that day I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all the peoples. All who lift it will surely hurt themselves, and all the nations of the earth will gather against it." God tells us that Jerusalem will be a heavy stone for everyone, all peoples, and this aligns with a future time when all nations of the earth, under the control of the Antichrist, will be aligned against Israel. Next, I'm going to read Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 and 32. Pay attention to the words Jesus uses when he says, "When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. Moving to verses 33 to 39. And he will place the sheep on his right, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" Verse 40 is the culmination of the verses, saying, "And the king will answer them, 'Truly, I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me.'" This is a fairly well-known set of verses among Christians, but few understand its real meaning. Now I'm going to read Romans 9 verses 3 to 5. "For I could wish that I myself were accursed and cut off from Christ for the sake of my brothers, my kinsmen according to the flesh. They are Israelites, and to them belong the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the worship, and the promises. To them belong the patriarchs, and from their race, according to the flesh, is the Christ, who is God over all, blessed forever. Amen." Here's what you need to know. These passages were written in Greek. The word in Greek is adelphos. This word is used in Matthew 1:2, Matthew 1:25, Matthew 4:18, Matthew 12:46 and 47, Luke 8:19, John 2:12, John 7:3, Acts 1:14, Galatians 1:19, 1 Corinthians 9:5, and many more. In each case, it's used to reference blood relation or national relation, such as a genetic similarity or relation within the Israel national group of people. Here's what I'm saying. The word Paul uses when he says kinsman, which he reiterates with more clarification saying, according to the flesh, and then again saying, they are Israelites, is the same Greek word used when Jesus says brothers. This is a genetic connection. But what does this mean in relation to Matthew 25 and the words of Jesus? Jesus is saying that just as we did unto the least of his brothers, that is, to the least of the Jews, we did it unto him, which means that mistreatment of the Jews is mistreatment of Jesus. Verse 41, Jesus says, "Then he will say to those on his left, 'Depart from me, you cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels.'" Mistreatment of the Jews leads to eternal punishment. Jesus is continuing the promise he gave to Abraham when he said, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." Jesus, in his words, reinforces the enduring nature of God's covenant with Israel throughout biblical history and into the final judgment. As we've seen, the Bible does not present the promises given to Israel as being transferred to another group or people, such as the church, as some suggest, but rather as enduring and applicable to the physical descendants of Abraham, that is, to Israel, even unto this day. In closing, it's clear that Israel occupies a central role in biblical prophecy, especially when it comes to eschatological events. From the promises made to Abraham, which have never been revoked, to the vivid descriptions in the prophetic books, Israel is portrayed as the epicenter of God's unfolding plan for the end times. The controversies and challenges surrounding Israel today are not unexpected. They were foretold in scriptures like Zechariah 12, where all nations would gather against Jerusalem, only to find themselves broken against this immovable, heavy stone. In the final days, as prophesied, Israel will experience restoration and recognition of their Messiah, and ultimately, fulfillment of God's eternal covenant. Understanding Israel's role helps us grasp the broader narrative of redemption and the culmination of history as revealed in the Bible. Thank you for journeying through this profound topic with me, and I hope it has deepened your understanding of God's enduring promise to his chosen people. If you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. God bless, and I'll see you next time.